Good afternoon. This is Gino show. I appreciate it because it's about five minutes past 5. I hope you have your dinner, and I hope if you have time to watch this program, it will be very interesting for people that go and vote November 8th. So I will introduce you a gentleman that is doing a good deed for others. So now I'm going to introduce to you, but he's going to have to tell his name because he only told me the name only one time. Instead of me write it down, I can't say anything, but I forgot about it. So he's going to tell you his name and last name, and he's going to tell me a nice story. So you watch and sit down and relax with a glass of water. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Guy Alberghini. Outside of work, I basically get in touch with the senators and representatives at both the state and federal level, as well as try and get proposals passed in my town, which is not too far from this place. And at the state level, I have 4 proposals. The first one's election reform. Next one is to somehow limit abortions. Right now in the state, it could be through the 3rd trimester. Stop high-density housing. And try and limit property tax by the way the state appraises residential property. And if you want me to email you more details, you could email me at maproposals, the character 1, at gmail.com. So it's maproposals, character 1 at gmail.com.
That will be right on the bottom later.
Okay.
And then you begin to tell me a story.
Yeah, so for let's say at least 15 years, probably more than 20, I've been driving home one day and said to myself, Guy, you never miss any election, but what more can you do?
Yeah, like I and so many others.
Yeah, so back then there was a talk show host with Michael Graham, 969 I think it was, and he was having a special event in Braintree, Mass. So it doesn't matter what party you come down, either
Right.
help out campaign if you're running yourself.
Right.
So I figured, don't really want to run, so maybe I'll go down and help a campaign out. So it was a great informative meeting. And after the meeting, I met a few good campaigns, but it was like the same old, and they were based in Worcester, and it's like, I'm not going to go from where I was living at the time to Worcester just for the same old.
Right, right.
So I'm walking down the hallway after this event, thinking, okay, what can I do? And I hear this person say, we're running against Barney Frank. So this is like how many years ago?
Yes.
So this woman, Rachel Brown, ran against Barney Frank, and after that she ran against Joe Kennedy in District 4. So she's part of Schiller Institute and the LaRouche organization, and I learned so much from them.
I see.
And then that got me really involved going into Beacon Hill, talking to the senators and reps, and mostly federal policies.
And state policy.
Yeah, state policy and federal policy. I even had Markey, when he was running for senator.
I know Markey.
He was a rep at the time, so
Right.
I had him co-sponsor a bill as a rep. Then I had him co-sponsor the companion bill to that when he became senator.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a few congressional sessions ago.
It's true. Many years ago.
Yeah, so I think it was 3 congressional sessions ago. So on the federal level, okay, let's see. What would you expect from the United States of America if some foreign power replaced the president of Mexico with a president that that nation liked? Would the United States be happy about it or pretty mad about it?
I don't know. I'm just telling you one thing is I'm more interested about what the president is doing in this country, not to mingle with any other president.
Yeah, so I'm using this as an example. Nothing happened in Mexico, but I'm using it as an example
As an example.
You're right. So imagine if this foreign nation, a super nuclear power, stopped putting weapons in Mexico.
That's not appropriate because that tried to happen when John Kennedy was president.
Yeah, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Keeping the missile from Cuba. It says if you don't get out of there, you'll be gone.
Right.
So I'm telling you, he was a good Democrat. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I wish the Democrats and the Republicans, that they should work together. Because I know many Republicans, I know some also Democrats. And I love them just as they're human beings. We're supposed to love each other, not arguing with each other. We're supposed to give ideas and help each other.
Yeah.
And I don't like to see American, you can help the president of Mexico to give him some jobs so that people don't have to come here because they have nothing to eat. That's why they come here, because they don't have any income.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How
So
come we're doing good and they're doing bad? Tell me why.
I have a solution for that too, but the last one, okay, after all that I mentioned,
Right.
imagine if this Mexican army starts bombing
Right here.
American citizens that are in Mexico.
Right.
So
That's good.
that was all just an analogy.
Yes. That's good what you're doing. You are directing. You are inspiring other people. Your inspiration is coming
Yeah,
through.
so all those scenarios, I pretty much am sure that the people of the United States thinks that's completely horrible.
That's it.
Okay, so under the Obama administration, when Joe Biden was vice president, and he's president now, we all know, Biden was the person in charge, along with Victoria Nuland,
Yes.
who was in the State Department, to organize non-government organizations to replace the current president in Ukraine.
Yes.
Lots of bloodshed, and
A lot of bloodshed.
it was finally ousted.
Yes.
Then after that, American weapons go into Ukraine,
Yes.
pointing at Russia.
Mm-hmm. And what the Russians say, if you do that, you go against us.
Right.
You know, you're trying to help. The question is the worst move that Russia made. They think that was their land. I mean, these people wanted to be independent. Why don't you leave them alone?
I don't think they thought it was their land, because you see weapons targeting them, and Russian citizens in Crimea were being bombed.
I know. So many people died for no reason,
Yeah.
between you and I.
So
No reason.
Russia's looking at that, and there was a Minsk Accord agreement, right, to solve this problem. But
They didn't act,
the Azov Battalion, which is Ukrainian Nazi army, threatened the current president, if you go along with this accord, you're going to basically be ousted or dead.
I know.
And then you have the United States saying, Ukraine, we want you to keep on fighting.
They wanted liberty on their own land. All the destruction that Russia made, I'm really disappointed because there was no reason to do that. If you're trying to retrieve the land that used to be yours, but not because it was yours, because you conquer it.
Well, that's why I used the Mexico analogy.
Yes.
Okay? They're not trying to take back the land. You see the missiles pointing at them. No negotiations what happened from the Ukraine because America and Great Britain are pushing them that way.
Right.
And Russian citizens are being killed, thousands of them.
So many.
So that's the mess we're in. And if we don't solve this problem really soon, you have Ukraine.
Second World War. The Third World War will come up.
Yeah.
In order to avoid that, you have to have a little patience. I know what you're trying to say, and I gave you my thoughts. My thoughts is the people understand what's going on. And the majority of the people say, for some reason, we are disappointed from the administration. They might try to do the best they can, but I think we take another view. We have to change the lane. The lane's going to be the Republican to win. And then it's going to be, I hope, because while Trump was in power, Putin will never invade Ukraine because they had an accord.
Yeah.
So let's hope and say a prayer.
That's why many people didn't like Trump, because he wanted to work with Russia and China to solve world problems.
That's what I'm saying.
So we wouldn't end up in this mess.
That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to help other people. That's what you're doing exactly. You represent somebody that needs your thoughts, and you have it right there. And that's what you're doing. People should say, I'm so happy that I have somebody that can guide me. Because being a politician, anybody can be a politician.
Right.
But what do you do if you don't know what you want to do to solve problem? You gave me the exit. You let them know exactly because you think, and they say, let's put this in place. You're doing a good deed. Remember that.
And for the past 3 months, close to $80 billion
Yes.
went from the United States,
To Ukraine.
yes,
And
in
also-
particular to the Nazi army.
Yes, practically.
And one of the supporters for that is a current Congresswoman, Lori Trahan. Virtually all the members on Capitol Hill voted for the money to go there. There's a few people that haven't. Senator Paul's been speaking out about it. He's up for re-election. My friend Diane Sear, who's running against Schumer to be senator of New York,
Yeah.
is speaking out very strongly about it.
You give them a guidance. That's good. People should listen. You do the best you can to help out. You know, and your destiny is. Appreciate it. You know, we like to see, and no matter what party it is, they get together, not to solve problem there is no need to solve, because they work together,
Yeah,
not to be separate, not call everybody names. There is no reason to do that. We are human beings. I mean, God sent us here to live, but the devil takes over sometimes, and that's what happened. That's what happened in the First World War, the Second World War, and we do not want to have the Third World War,
right.
because with the second, we only used the atomic bomb one time in Japan.
Right.
But for today's Third War will come, it's not going to be just Japan. It's going to be Russia, Korea, India, China,
Yeah.
United States.
So United States is the only country that has a...
That's what I'm saying. But the question is, why destroying the world? We're only here temporarily. That's why
Right.
we should work together. Not because you have a little power. Oh, I am a senator, U.S. senator. I have this particular power. Work with everybody. You don't have to be always right. Compromise. If there's something that you can compromise. Don't irritate anybody else just because you have power. And sometimes the power is in one side only, and the other side don't have anything to say, because they are sort of left out.
Yeah.
Here the majority goes one way, the minority, they don't know what to do because they don't.
But the problem with this problem is the vast majority of both sides agree
That's the
on
problem.
doing the wrong thing.
Yes,
And
and I'm glad you were there. To
my
give
friend Tulsi Gabbard, I was happy to meet her quite a few times when she ran for president, said this is a proxy war against Russia, and it definitely is. And the United States is the only nation that has the first strike nuclear policy.
You know, I'm sorry to say this, but the question is, Russia forget that if it wasn't for the United States and the people in a service to help Russia when the Germans they were invading Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Russia will not be there no more. And that is the appreciation against the United States. That's what I'm saying. They should work together. Why? This power goes to the head. The power is to contribute. Be good to each other. Help the people. There's so many. Look how many people we have here. Not
Right,
only
the country's
because
falling apart.
That's what I'm saying. Not only open border. You have people that make them come in. They have no place to go. They have no place to live. They give them a card, and then they sleep in the street. If you want somebody to come, let them come legally.
Yeah.
Let them see if he's able to work. Whatever, and make sure they have a place to stay and to
There's
live.
lots of work that has to be done.
Right. Don't just let them come and then they have no place to go. Why they doing this? I know what they're doing, but I'm not going to say. I'm a little disappointed because many millions of people came because they had vet. They're being vet. They know who they were. They know they will come here. They respect. They love the country. They go to work, and they don't ask money on the street. I have no place to go. Can you give me a donation? This is a beautiful country. Why spoil it? If we lose, that's it.
Right.
Not only we will have nothing because they're going to consume. Just in California, $6 a gallon. How much can you stand? People can't afford to buy their own food. They probably lose their property. You're going to have so many people out.
Yeah.
We have to, like you say, adjust. That's why we need collaboration with the both parties.
Right. In collaboration with other nations.
People just don't understand. I have power. We're going to do this. You cannot do this all at once. It's because they figure if they change the route, they're going to be able to make money. Why? Yeah. You do this for free. I work for housing authority, appointed by the government. I look for housing for the people that have nothing. I don't get paid.
Yeah.
I don't become a millionaire. If I have a little extra because I work for it, and I didn't ask to anybody anything. That's what you're doing.
Part of the problem is, yes, they make money, but it's not about the money.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you have this country is at least $30 billion in debt.
30 billion with a B.
30 billion, yes.
30 with a T.
Owned 30 trillion, excuse me, 30 trillion. Yes. So most of that money is owed to a private entity.
I know. That's why we got to get together.
The Federal Reserve.
Yeah. And
so to get this country on the right track,
we have to solve that problem.
And the Federal Reserve Act, repeal it.
Right.
And make the currency fixed again. Because with the speculation, that helps drive down the dollar, which really ramps up inflation.
That's what I'm saying. The dollar was doing much better before 2 years ago. was doing
Yeah.
better. All of a sudden, I don't think people that are in politics, some of them don't understand what is inflation. You can print, if I have a machine, I can print so much money that the home will be full, but it's worth nothing.
Right.
The dollar has to be worth money. There has to have a value. We
Yeah,
cannot
so-
solve everybody's problem.
Like
we can
in-
help, but we cannot solve everybody's problem.
Like
That's what you're doing now.
the money that went out for like all the COVID payments, of one of the payments was like $6 billion
6 billion.
to the population.
Yeah,
But what they don't tell you in the bill,
no,
$4 billion went to hedge funds.
yeah, correct.
Instead of hedge funds, how about building a specialized hospital to help the population?
Right.
And we shouldn't be borrowing from the Federal Reserve. We need to get back to National Bank
Yes. The interest goes up so much.
and use sovereign federal credit
Yes.
for the infrastructure we need.
That's why I say you're doing a good deed, because by talking to the Congress people, the senators, they will listen to you. Because sometimes they want to do good, but sometimes they forget how to do it. Very simple.
Well, part of the problem is they have too much money going into their pockets. And the other part of the problem is the vast majority of the population doesn't tell them, do this.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
No, they complain a lot,
But they don't do it.
but no, the population complains a lot, but they don't complain to the senators and
That's what I'm
representatives.
saying. But that's what you're doing, actually.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing a. Huh.
So I try and motivate people to do them. If they do it or not, it's up to them.
Yes.
You know, and then,
You're going to be the voice. I appreciate that.
well, we all have to be the voice.
Oh, yeah, by voting, too.
Well, I'm talking about in between the elections.
Yeah.
There's about 100 weeks in between the elections.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, we vote. Okay, then we go back to sleep for another 2 years.
No, 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 no.
No, we have to do something.
Yes, right now.
And like pre-COVID, no, like I say, went to see many federal representatives. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, occasionally 6. There'd be like 200 to 150 people in the meeting, which is very small considering the district is 750,000 people.
Yes.
But of that 200 people, there'd be like 1 or 2 in there, if I was there, saying, you should be doing this instead.
You'll be surprised when they hear you talking. The other district, even from the other states, they might say, I hope we have somebody like you. And maybe you can guide them. Because a lot of people don't understand. They think because they become senators, Congress, they will be able to solve the problem. But you gave me the initiative to understand the problem they already have right now that is to be solved. For
Yeah.
one thing is, don't print any more money.
And I came up with a very loose formula. If a representative or senator is willing to co-sponsor a bill, you have to meet with them 6 times. Because after you leave them, right, they have 100 people talking to them about something else,
Right.
right? So you have to keep on reminding them.
Yes. Remind them. Yes.
No, and then between that, also make phone calls.
You're just like a teacher. You got your, the young kids. You got to remind them, because if you don't remind them, remind them, they forget it. And this is even with the people in politics, they forget
Yeah.
too. They need to be reminded. That's a good idea.
Yeah, because at the constituent meeting, they have 50 to 100 people after I talk to them, talking to them. And then they get back to the office, so they have a lot going on, a lot of different issues coming up. So you have to generally try and keep them focused.
Focus.
And I say if they're not willing to co-sponsor something, then a lot more people have to say, hey, we want you to do this.
And you'll be the one to remind them.
Yeah, well,
And
we all have to.
Yeah, I understand, but the initiative is from you. So I learn from you,
Okay.
and other people will learn from you, and they will say, you know something, can you just come and see me? And that'd be nice.
Yeah.
You never know.
And it's very easy to, well, find out their meetings. You call like the local office.
Right, right.
If you want to talk policy, it's either you go online, you could find out the switchboard number or find the direct office number at the state and local level,
Local, yeah.
you know, and it seems like Lori's out and about, but she doesn't seem like she's having constituent meetings. So I put in a couple of requests to meet with her. We'll see what comes from that office. So
Oh, that's good.
this is a quote I saw from Tulsa Gabbard, but it's a quote from JFK.
Mm-hmm.
Above all, while defending our own vital interests, nuclear powers must avert those confrontations which bring an adversary to choose to a choice of either a humiliating retreat or nuclear war. To adopt that kind of course in the nuclear age would be evidence only of the bankruptcy of our policy, or a collective death wished for the world.
May God watch
So that was
us.
from JFK.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he was, you know something, he was a good person. No matter what he did personally, but he was straight, and he kept things running the right way. I'm sorry that everybody else went different direction. I'm a little disappointed. They could have followed him a little bit.
Right. Well, JFK was trying to really build up this country as well as other countries.
Yeah.
He was trying to do lots of work in Africa.
Yes.
So he was in a huge conflict with the British Empire.
With the British Empire.
With the
Yes.
British Empire.
Yes.
Also known as the United Kingdom Empire.
Yes.
You know, because they basically slaves, cheap goods to sell around the world. So, they stay in power. They also create wars to help them stay in power.
I know.
And
But those are very small wars. But the question whether
they were big world wars.
Well,
World War I, World War II,
I know,
Vietnam.
but there was no atomic bomb.
No, not that until World War II,
Right.
when Truman got in.
Yeah. So that's what I hope, like you make them understand. It's easy to say, oh, we can do this, we can do. Trying to combine together and trying to talk to the adversary, trying to say, calm down, don't get excited. Don't go and destroy our country and kill so many thousands of people for no reason. I don't see no reason. Russia's got a bigger territory. They can't have it the way they had before.
I believe they're now looking for that. Just like when I used the Mexican example, right? It's a reverse,
I know.
because you have a foreign power in Ukraine threatening Russia.
Mm.
No, it was like the Cuban Missile Crisis. The United States didn't like that at all. This is like reverse Cuban Missile Crisis, only worse because there's a lot more.
And then what happened? They became socialism, and there are poor people in Cuba.
Yeah.
What did it what did you? They lost. I mean, they lost by getting engaged with Russia. They
Well,
lost. because the American was going to help them anyway.
A lot of it had to do with embargoes too. Okay, we don't like your policy, so we're going to embargo you. Nothing can get in, nothing can go out.
I know. Like you say, power sometimes really destroy everything.
So
Without cooperating with other country. People need help. We know that.
as
And
well
it-
as a national bank for this country to help other nations from Mexico all down through the bottom of South America.
Right.
And then worldwide, we need to form an international development bank,
Yes. You're
right?
correct.
To lift people out of policy,
Yes.
of poverty.
I agree with you. So they can create jobs
Yeah.
because people need to work.
Build up their infrastructure so, with them being employed, to lift themselves out of poverty.
Absolutely.
And use credit system.
Absolutely,
To do
I
that.
agree. That's why when the doors are open, they came here. Well, they claim 2.5 million. I claim about 5 million people so far.
Yeah.
I mean, and they can't get jobs. I mean, if it was the other way around, if it was the bank helping the country, they probably can have jobs because they can have different activity,
Right.
different company to develop this, do
There's a lot
that.
of work to be done.
So much to
and-
be done, you're right.
We'll need lots of help. So
But this country,
So JFK had the vision of building up the infrastructure not only here but around the world.
yes, he was, yeah.
There's one country that lifted 800,000 people out of extreme poverty.
That's something.
Imagine that, 800,000 people from that country being lifted out of extreme poverty.
That's what every other country should do that.
And there's only two countries, right, with the kind of population that can actually do that.
Jeez, man. Only 2 countries.
Right? The population of the United States is maybe 350 million.
Close to it, not exactly.
Somewhere
250.
around there,
Yeah.
right?
335.
The nation I'm talking about has something like 1.3 billion people in it.
You're talking about China. China,
You recognize that number,
China actually has 1.5 billion.
1.5 now.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
And the system that they used was the old American system from Alexander Hamilton. National Bank, federal sovereign credit
Yes.
to build up infrastructure. And they created, if I'm right, like 3 other industrial investment banks to help out other nations.
They help themselves too.
Right. That was the first one.
Yeah.
But kind of in parallel,
Yeah. You got to give them credit.
no, they said, we're creating these other industrial banks. Which country would like to join us? And 90% of the population, those countries pretty much have.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And your initiative is going to help a lot of people. And I'm proud of you. Okay? I will never
Thank you.
forget your name now.
Okay.
Okay?
Next time I see you, I'll test you.
You'll probably forget mine first.
Gino.
Oh my God.
I don't know your last name, but
Oh, that's it. That's okay. It means big brother.
big brother.
Actually, it's fratellone. Fratello means in Italian brother.
Fratellone.
Fratellone. But because it's a little story that goes with it. That's why fratellone. Before it used to be fratta. Okay, but it's a long story. My great grandfather did a lot of good for Sicily. They were a farmer. They lost everything, and when my grandfather found out their family they were starving, he went from Venice. He went all the way to Sicily, and he was very very wealthy, and he bought a lot of land. He donated a quarter of an acre to each farmer. They lost everything. And that's why they, like you say, they were able to plant and have veggie, fruit, and they had animal. He helped them from starving.
Yeah.
This is before the First World War. So my great-grandfather, and we came in this country, the family, it's 1800 or between 1800 and 1750, something like that.
Wow.
That's why we came, my family came too, because we had somebody that was guarantee us. So these people that come today, I feel bad for them. They have no representation. They don't have no people that can represent them and take care of them.
Right.
Because when you come from Europe, you have to have somebody that guarantee that you have a place to stay, a job to take, and you make sure they speak a little bit English so they can learn after that.
Yeah, and there had to be so much money.
And they have to last, yes. And my family never had to go and beg for money. They already had jobs, you know what I mean? And we had a place that somebody already provided apartment for us. So we didn't go to the government to ask for help.
Yeah.
And this was, you know, I love people. So if they come, they should come legally. Not open the door and make them come and they have no place to go. I feel bad because they sleep in the street.
This country should get back to a good neighbor policy. Help other nations instead of,
Yes.
no, we don't like you, we're going to destroy you.
This country is too good, too good. This country is too good. People don't understand that. But we like to help people, but they have to be here. We wanted to make sure they are vet. I mean, I want to know who you are. You know, what kind of a capability you have.
Yeah.
Do you have any, you know, do you have any intention to make fruit for yourself and your family? You're able to go to work. You're able to adjust to yourself. They don't have this.
Yeah, so in Europe it's going to be, it's a huge problem now, but you know, many protesters in many countries across Europe saying, no, we need heat for the winter. No, we need more Russian oil.
Yeah.
So there's one country that was able to destroy the pipelines and had the motive to. No, so they might say we want the oil now, but it's not available now because those pipelines were destroyed. So you have lots of people
Going to suffer.
that freeze to death.
That's why we have to get together. That's why they should open the pipe. They should put a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the two
A
pipes
nice-
were destroyed. It's going to take time to
I know,
replace.
10,000 people without a job.
And
They gotta finish the wall. They gotta finish
something
the wall.
like those pipelines were able to handle like 30, no, that's too low, like 300 tons of force
Yes,
in case a aircraft carrier anchor dropped on it.
yes,
So that was a heck of an explosion, had to be.
I know.
And there's only one country with the means and the motive to do that. No,
Right.
it's not Russia because although oil started in Russia, they could easily turned off. They didn't
Yeah.
need to explode anything.
No, they close it.
Right.
But
it
over
was
here,
open.
they have to do something. They have to fix it. They
To
can fix it.
Yeah.
They can fix it. The question is, it's going to take a little while.
And it's hard because it's under deep water.
Yes, that's the problem. Yes. But if they give them the initiative, they will be able to do it. I have faith. I
Yeah.
have faith. The Americans have courage and they are dedicated. They work hard and everything.
So that's over there, and
That's
we
what
can
you,
easily see the same problem over here between pipelines being shut down
Yeah.
from this administration.
yes.
Um,
Printing too much money.
OPEC was talking about slowing down the flow.
Yeah.
And I saw that Biden was over there telling
He
them
was-
to
he was
not do
begging.
that till after the election.
He was begging and they say no.
Right.
Something will come out.
So
You will be the angel. You are the initiative.
we all have to be the angels.
We'll try. We'll try. And the people in November will realize that what's going on and I feel like they will not hate anybody. They just wanted a change, and hope they will work together. And,
Yeah, so
and forget about my power, your power. Work together as a power. Work together.
in this country, we have to get the pipelines going again,
Yes,
including natural gas, do away with the Green New Deal,
yes,
and we have to work to get into fusion energy.
exactly.
No, we need crash course in fusion energy. And
Yeah.
that can easily be done through sovereign credit through the New National Bank.
I agree with you. Yeah. And also that
And
would
then-
be, if they work together, they can help each other.
And on top of that, there's a huge water crisis,
Yes,
right? Under JFK, there was a proposal of the North American Water and Power Alliance. And the agreements were Canada, United States, and Mexico. So
I hope that will go work.
it would take 5 to 10% of the water that's just stepping into the Bering Strait, reroute it south, and help out like Western Canada to the middle of Canada, bring it south some more, bring it west, fill up the Great Lakes again,
Mm-hmm.
continue south, help out other farmers,
That's what
drinking water,
Yeah, that's what they need, yes.
and
Yes.
slowly gets down to northern Mexico, helping the three nations before the water finally goes into the sea.
Right. I understand that California have very little bit of water coming in. Is it true?
Right.
So they can help that area too then.
California's gets a lot, well, not a lot anymore, but water from the Colorado River, which feeds Lake Mead.
And that will
Lake
go.
Mead is very low now, and
So they got to,
power is generated from Lake Mead to power the area around Las Vegas.
I got it.
Then you go south and helps out California.
I hope.
But between 5 different states, there's very little bit of water that they all share,
Oh, gee.
that they're fighting over. So without water, the farmers don't have water, you don't have drinking water,
You don't have fruit, you don't have veggie. And
you don't have food.
That's right. And the farmers going to starve. So I hope that will be settled.
And if the farmer starves, we starve.
And that's what even the politician has to understand that, so they can put some their
Yeah.
power to adjust that situation, because California really need water.
And their solution so far is, okay, everybody cut back to this little bit each week or something.
Jeez,
So
we got so many.
the WAPA's going to be a huge project. So in the meantime, we could get desalination plants up and going relatively quickly,
Oh my God.
right? Start with that because there's an immediate need.
I hope we'll be able to settle, because I'm telling you that you have to work on that and guide the Senate and the Congress and the state representative, and maybe you should also invite yourself to different states so they can understand what you're trying to tell
Yeah.
and suggest.
Well, there's people in roughly 26 states. No, from the LaRouche Organization, Schiller Institute, LaRouche PAC. No, trying to educate the reps and senators to get these proposals
Proposal.
into action.
Yeah, because those very important.
Yeah.
People without water, I'm telling you, they have to drink water. If they don't have water, I'm surprised to hear that California is running out of water. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. I can't believe it.
Yeah. No, you have California, you have
And then you might have Arizona
Nevada,
too.
New Mexico, Arizona,
We got it.
Utah. They're all fighting for the same little bit of water.
Yeah, and maybe you can help them by dividing to other representatives. That's going to be
Yeah.
a big help. and then the second thing will be economic.
Right. Well, that's all part, of basically the economy.
That's right. Yeah, you did a good job. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, a lot to do.
A lot to do.
And try and motivate more people to do more, because
Yes.
if it's just me in this district.
What I'm going to do is, you will have the chip of this conversation we had,
Yeah.
and you make a copy of it and send it to other people that represent, like you, to their elected officer, so they understand the situation. Because sometimes I don't think they know what's really going on. They want it to be senator, congressman, but they don't understand the process.
Right.
That process that you also talked to me is very important.
Like, I talked to a few people running for U.S. House Rep in the state, and asked them, what's your vision? What are you looking to do?
Right, right.
And they start talking about state issues. So I go to them, you're running for federal office, right? Yeah, so, you were talking about state issues. What are you looking to do when you get into the federal office?
Right. You got to also think about
And
the federal.
They have no idea. Okay, start thinking about this, and this. Make that part of your campaign.
You will be like a teacher, so you give them the solve this problem. Solve this problem when you have time. Everybody has a problem to solve.
Most of them is like, I'm running to replace this person. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
what's your platform? What are you looking to do in that position? I have no clue. I'm just looking to replace that person.
No, you got to.
Oh, that's no answer.
No, you got to solve problems.
Right.
You have to resolve the problem. You have see if you can make copy of the chips
Yeah.
and send it. And before you send it, see who they are interested. Somebody's got to be interested, and then somebody will tell somebody else.
Yeah.
And so
Like
forth.
right now, I'm taking classes at Worcester Community Cable.
Beautiful.
I go there Saturdays. I have one more class and then the final. So I'm thinking bring a copy down there,
Beautiful.
bring a copy to Groton.
Beautiful.
Give
one to Dean
Tran.
Tran. Tell him
Yeah.
that Gino asked me to give you a
Yeah,
copy.
he's one of the people I was talking about. It's like he talks about state. He was a state senator,
I
right?
know.
So he knows that. But okay, what you do?
Now what you do is a
What
congressman.
you got to do in the federal position?
Yeah, that's what
You
you
know?
got to say. Gino told me to give you this chip and see if it can help other congressmen.
Yeah. So one way I look at it is the representatives is a reflection of the population.
Right, right. You be the professor, and then every other person that will represent you, they be teachers to others.
Yeah, and then
That's what we need. We need people like
one
you.
thing I say to people is, okay, they're in the position, right? They govern with the consent of the governed,
Right.
okay? So I ask people, okay, do you consent to what they do or do you not consent?
Right.
Simple question, right?
Correct. Yes.
So they say, I don't consent. Okay, how do you not consent? Well, I didn't vote for them. Okay, in between the elections, how do you not consent? Are you doing anything? No. Oh, so you consent and agree to whatever they do.
But they need your help. By you talking to them is going to make a lot of difference.
Right.
You have to talk to them. Don't be afraid. And then when they are elected, then you come back here and you tell me another story.
I talk to as many as I can,
Yeah, you come
as I'm
back.
physically able to.
Yeah, when they listen to you and tell them, by you telling them, they will tell others. That is the course of the conversation. From one professor to the teacher. It's going to come to a point where they say, we're not, what do you mean? I'm here. I can do everything, state and federal. That's what I'm here for. Very simple.
At the end of my videos,
Yeah.
I have a couple lines.
Beautiful.
They are, if you just go along with the bad policies, then you agree with them.
And then you're not
And-
getting elected. The next time he's not going to re-elect it. But if he does something that your advisement comes to their
No, the
head,
population just,
they
if
understand.
they don't do anything, then they agree with the bad policy.
Right. You don't want them to agree with their bad policy.
Right.
You give them
You
a
have to
guide.
tell them, this is what we want you to do,
That's it. You will.
instead of just sitting there and agreeing.
Yes.
So, and also, if you're not part of the solution, if you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem.
Yeah. You are correct. I think I'm sorry to disturb you, my dear television watching Gino's show. I hope we didn't have a long conversation, but this conversation is not because it was long, it's because he's right. He's trying to guide individuals that run for state and federal to give them an idea, not just to say I have the power, to solve the problem. There's a lot of problems that we discuss right now. So that's what they're going to represent. They're going to represent you people, and you vote for them. If they don't do what they listen from the public,
Tell them what to do, hold them accountable.
tell them what to do. That's why the next time they're running, they said, hey, I'm sorry, you didn't do your job. And they listen. This gentleman is like a professor teaching teachers. Little by little, we will see the difference. And you will say, I'm so glad that I was watching Gino's show. He didn't say much, but he asked to tell me a story. And I'm telling you, there was a nice story that he told. And I want to say thank you for watching, and God bless you. And don't forget to vote.
Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Bless you.